I think in terms of Andrew's style and presence, a lot of turtlenecks, less sweaters. I've honestly never worn a turtleneck a day in my life before I shot this film.
It sort of buttoned him up in a way, and it put him in an East Coast way, and it was informative.
How about you and I go?
For Millie, it just had to be very realistic that this is a girl who's been in prison for 10 years. She's living in her car, so we wanted to make sure she had a very limited wardrobe, and Sydney was very into that idea.
I suggested that she arrive with maybe 2 duffel bags, and they came from, you know, a thrift, things that she could sort of grab.
Do you need me to help you bring in your stuff from your car?
Oh, no, this is it.
Great.
Yeah.
Wow.
I really wanted to make sure that it wasn't like Millie was changing her outfit every single day, because she didn't have that. She has 1 pair of jeans, maybe 2, a couple tops that she switches, whatever she can fit in her duffel bag, and she might have thrifted or had from before.
I covet those.
I love this outfit.
Those pants though with this?
Yeah. This is actually one of my favorite outfits.
I'm taking them.
You're taking them?
I'm taking them off your rack.
Nina in the book, as I described, she's always wearing white. So it was really fun to find variation, so she's not just wearing the same white outfits. And Renee just went and found the most beautiful sort of upper class, rich lady stuff. And obviously nobody looks better in it than Amanda.
It was a palette that we felt was imposed on her by Brandon's character, Andrew.
Then seeing that sort of shift over to Millie when she falls in love with Brandon and sort of take on that persona and all those looks was so satisfying.
These are practically brand new, and I want you to have them.
I can't.
This look amazing on you.
At one point, Millie's character puts on a Nina dress, and that kind of was a pivotal design because Sydney and myself and Paul realized the more it looked like Nina's character, the more effective that moment would be.
It's exciting to watch because, God, there's just so many dynamics at play. And there's only 3 people, but you feel like there's like 7.
Great dress.
One of the primary characters in The Housemaid is the house itself. The house that is that character that an audience would love to be a part of, but if you change the lighting ever so slightly, they want to get the fuck out of there.
Hi, Millie. Welcome.
Hi, Mrs. Winchester.
We looked for a house that felt like a storybook, wish fulfillment house with this old sort of thatched roof, but at the same time, it's a labyrinth. So you can feel a bit lost in it.
We flyered over 300 houses, 80 to 100 responses. Of those 80, 25 made the cut. So you just keep narrowing it down to one particular house, and it happens to be this one here. We wanted the house to be older, but wanted the inside to feel new, like it was refurbished by the Winchester family, specifically Andrew. This particular house was exactly what we were going for. It was built in 1908, but the family that moved in renovated about 10 years ago, and it really kind of hit all the marks for Elizabeth and the creative team.
The house is absolutely perfect. It just looks exactly like where the Winchesters would live. I even saw the gate. When I saw that gate, I was like, this is clearly the house.
It was perfect because it's a fairy tale house. He is selling that he is a Prince Charming, and then you get to unpeel the inside with all of its edges and its turns, and you can't see through the whole house. The lines don't really line up, and you really get a sense of like, this is a man who sort of created a maze and a prison in his own home.
I walked in that house and I was like, damn, this is like what I imagined. It feels expensive and chic without being stuffy. They really nailed it.
Would you like a grand tour so you can see what you're getting yourself into?
Sure.
You never go into a house and go like, we're just gonna shoot the house the way it is. You basically take everything out of the house and redo it so that it fits the vision that production designer and myself have for the movie.
He didn't want the house to feel scary from the get-go. It actually was supposed to feel, quote unquote, Nancy Meyers gone wrong. It should feel very inviting, but if you look a little closer, you're like, ooh, there's something off about it.
And I just want to shout out EJ and Paige and the whole art department for putting this entire house together. Really different from what we came into. So.
The overall process of the house, we basically had about a month of prep in the house to begin with, and that involved taking out all of their pieces, storing everything, and then painting, construction, etc.
They have painted and furnished and designed this entire house. It's pretty spectacular. They're very talented people.
And it's huge.
It is ginormous. You look from outside, you're like, oh, cool. And then you get in, and it's just like a sprawling maze.
And it's
incredible.
very sexy.
Yeah.
And action!
Something that was really important to Paul was that he wanted the house to feel welcoming. He wants Millie to want to work there. The initial spaces that Millie enters the house have a more welcoming atmosphere. The foyer and the kitchen and the great room are all pretty bright. We ended up actually having this recurring theme of red as a color to symbolize Andrew and spaces where he has a presence. You particularly see it unfold in the screening room. That's really like his personal private space, and the room is pretty much all red. You also see it on the front door of the house. The couches in the formal living room are also red, which during the interview is maybe something that would hint to Millie that something is not quite right and friendly with this house. You'll notice that it's not really present in Cece's bedroom or Cece's playroom. That's less of a space that he's in.
The playroom, we wanted to give this idea of everything feels very beautiful, yet you're like, this is kind of spooky.
This is Cece's room. Andrew even made a little miniature version of our house for her. Isn't that sweet?
The dollhouse, of course, was like the central piece inside of that.
Do. Honey, shut the fuck up. I hate you, Daddy. What?
I will candidly admit I did cry when I saw the dollhouse. Because I feel like as a producer, you work on something for so long and you imagine what it could be. And then the dollhouse is like such a perfect manifestation that we built the house.
There.
So amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So that's where,
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah,
Incredible.
It was a big prop
Incredible,
for
yes.
the art department to make, but they did it because we have a great art.
Wow.
And the craftsmanship that they put into that dollhouse is really quite impressive.
What we decided to do with our dollhouse fabricator, her name is Katie Akana, is truncate the house. So we just did the main portion of the house and not the wings of the house. Once we had the rooms designed, we were then giving Katie Akana the wallpapers, the paint colors, a couple months of this is this thing, this is that thing, can you incorporate this? Luckily, she was amazing.
And action.
Juice, please. Don't spill. Juice is a privilege.
It's literally a roadmap to the abuse that's happening in this house. Where's she putting mom? Is mom up in the attic? Is mom down with them in the dining room? Where's Millie through her troll doll? It's kind of how she's coping with all this stuff that we find out that she basically knows what's going on.
Cece, where did you find this troll? Were you in my room?
I took a look at it the first day I was in the house to shoot, and it was so perfect with every little detail. They even had like the paintings on the walls.
I don't want you going into my room. Do you understand? You need to stay out of the attic.
So do you.
Excellent. Great, let's reset.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. Joblo remains an independent company, and we appreciate all of your support.